is the CTV News.
Good evening. Despite the return of sunny days in Saskatchewan, there are still 17 local states of emergencies caused by flooding from last week's torrential rainfall. Sierra D'Souza Butts updates how residents are dealing with the damage and how the province is helping.
Various roads to enter Cody First Nation, including Highway 8, are blocked off from excess water.
We just don't realize, the impact of what water can do and, how do you prepare for that?
The damage caused by flooding from recent rainfall over the past few weeks has also impacted people's homes.
Right now we have a crew there helping out at the sump pumps, to drain the basements and the crawl spaces that were affected.
The nation is one of 17 communities and RMs who have declared a state of emergency due to flooding in the province.
The agency is supporting multiple communities and rural areas with equipment, resources, including pumps, hoses, and sandbags.
Adding about 100 to 120 millimeters of rain was reported on roads between Kenora and Yorkton. The town of Kamsack putting out a large garbage container out for residents to drop off flood items and debris.
The number that we were provided from the administrator of the town was that approximately 70% of the basements had some sort of water damage, which is a very high number.
The government says it plans to continue engaging with impacted communities to find out what further supports are needed.
We're not only here to assist with any needs as the flooding's happening, but we'll be in constant communication with municipal leadership to ensure we're there for the cleanup effort.
In the meantime, Cody says he is thankful to see people in the community helping one another out through these difficult times.
It's really a big help, because we don't have the resources to buy the culverts, the grid road, the gravel, and whatever is required to put the roads back into operation.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Researchers have confirmed not one but two tornadoes touched down in the Pelly area during that major storm on June 28th. The first touchdown near Badgerville at around 5:40 p.m., tracking about 22 kilometers before ending west of Pelly. Along the way, damaged several homes and barns, power lines and trees, and has been assessed as an EF2 tornado with an estimated max wind speed of 195 kilometers per hour. A second tornado later developed just south of Pelly, causing EF1 level damage. That tornado touched down about a half an hour later than the first one, causing damage to trees and several homes in the community. The second tornado's max wind speed was estimated about 155 kilometers per hour with a significantly shorter damage track of about 3.4 kilometers. Now, the Northern Tornadoes Project also confirming 5 other tornadoes elsewhere in the province last week. On June 29th in Elrose, an EF0 tornado. Then on July 2nd near Kindersley, another EF0 tornado, followed by an EF1 near Denzel the same nights. And finally on July 3rd, 2 EF0 tornadoes near Springwater and Edam. Now, no injuries were reported in any of the storms, but the Denzel EF1 did damage a farmyard and send a semi-trailer tumbling. With all of last week's storms accounted for, that brings Saskatchewan's annual total to 15 tornadoes, at least so far in 2026. That is in addition to 3 downbursts. And to keep going, last night in Swift Current, a severe storm that left behind so much hail it looked like a snowstorm rolled through.
Look at all the hail, you guys.
The storm bringing hail and heavy rainfall, leading to scenes like this in Swift Current. City officials say it left behind plenty of leaves, debris, and piles of hail across that crews had to work on to clear basins and storm drains to help with any drainage. Swift Current Light and Power says there may still be isolated power-related problems and to contact them if any issues persist. All right, Sabine joins us now, and a lot of severe weather we've seen all across the province in the last couple of weeks. So as we head into a new week, what can we expect?
Summertime, Lee. It's going to feel just like summer, and many are hoping for and we're waiting for it. This is the week that it's arrived. We're going to see those temperatures get close to 30, but certainly feeling like the 30s once we get into the midweek. And even comparing to what we saw today, not much for active weather. We saw nothing but sunshine for most of Saskatchewan and temperatures back into that seasonal range. Today we warmed up to about 23 degrees late this afternoon in the Regina area. The average is about 25, but this is just the beginning. We're going to continue to see a gradual warm up throughout the week. And then, like I said, by midweek, we'll start to feel more of that humidity with those temperatures feeling in the low to mid 30s. But I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. Of course, with the heat, dryness comes wildfire threats. And despite all the recent rain, wildfire count continues to grow in Saskatchewan with more than 60 active fires right now. In an update from the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, there are 64 wildfires burning across the province's northern half. 8 of the fires are considered not contained. 5 are contained. 42 still ongoing assessment. The remaining 9 fall under what they call protecting values as their priority. The SPSA says they are trying different approaches to try to get ahead of this year's wildfire season.
Also been engaging with communities a lot sooner than normal protocols would be. So sharing media information, social media, engaging with the communities, with having representatives at the community level.
Now, so far this year, there have been 212 fires in Saskatchewan. That's compared to 354 at this time last year. Regina Daycare is clarifying its stance on recently implemented changes to the funding model for $10 a day childcare in Saskatchewan after it was surprised to get called out by the provincial NDP in a letter to Ottawa. Donovan Mace explains.
Regina YMCA CEO Steve Compton says it was a surprise when he learned a letter he sent to parents ended up in a message from the Saskatchewan NDP to the federal government.
We were referred to it directly in a couple of paragraphs of that. Although it wasn't an intent to co-author, we were called out directly based on our most recent fees.
It comes just days after the daycare notified parents of incoming additional fees coming in under the new $10 a day daycare agreement the province signed with Ottawa to help centers keep up with rising costs. Starting this fall, the YMCA is establishing a $75 per month fundraising fee, a $15 per month administration fee, and an annual $125 enrollment fee.
With our particular financial position, not speaking for other operators, it was something we needed to do.
Last week, the Saskatchewan NDP called on Ottawa to investigate whether changes related to part-time and casual funding models align with the agreement. But Compton says the YMCA was neither consulted nor notified about the letter's use by the NDP.
We know this is a government-funded program, both nationally and provincially. It wasn't a political announcement on our end.
It was on social media.
The NDP says they ran with the letter from the Y after multiple parents and social media posts highlighted concerns.
We're reporting what's already been public already. Yeah, the fees are going to go up, and that's hard for people to be able to manage.
Now, while this letter was not meant to be political, the Y says it continues to advocate for families and take their concerns to the ministry, sharing their child care experience and challenges with the province as this daycare program continues to evolve into the future. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Environmental advocates are calling on the province to stop its nuclear power plans and consider other renewable ways of generating power. It comes as the federal government looks to get the entire country on board with nuclear energy. Keenan Sorkon has more.
The Saskatchewan Environmental Society and the Coalition for a Clean Green Saskatchewan say recent nuclear power projects across the world are going over budget and taking far longer to build than originally estimated. And that's reason enough to pause our nuclear plans.
Opting for nuclear power is going to bury SaskPower in debt, drive electricity rates up sharply, and put SaskPower in danger of bankruptcy.
SaskPower plans to make a decision on whether or not to invest into nuclear technology in 2029. It has 2 sites in mind near Estevan where a small modular reactor would go to generate 300 megawatts of power for up to 300,000 homes all year long. These groups say other options like solar or wind energy, battery storage, conservation, and efficiency improvements should be considered instead at a fraction of the cost.
I think the best thing that Saskatchewan could do is just to revert back to existing known technologies and make a transformation that way.
Sask Power says understanding and evaluating this cost and risks is an important part of developing the supply option for Saskatchewan. Based on feasibility work done to date, SMRs have the potential to be a competitive option. This comes as the federal government plans to enable the construction of 10 nuclear reactors in the next 15 years.
If our goal is to double our grid and reach net zero by 2050, there is no credible plan for Canada to do that without nuclear energy.
As Preble and Halliday worry Sask Power's current path could deplete the Crown Corporation, the province is ready for the opportunity.
There's a lot in this country that pushes us apart, and I say that being from Western Canada. Nuclear is an area that really we can bring the country together.
Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Regina greenhouse is being hurt by a road closure during the busiest time of the year. Access has been restricted to Sherwood Greenhouse, forcing customers to detour more than 7 kilometers. Repairs weren't expected until late August, but now a temporary fix is being tried. Wayne Mantika explains.
Sherwood Greenhouse has been hit hard by a service road closure along the Trans-Canada Highway just east of the city. An old wooden bridge inherited by the Regina bypass is failing and has been closed to traffic. Customers have to detour about 15 kilometers round trip.
In the first week, we were down to like 1 to 2 customers a day and lots of messages like roads closed, can't come to you, and we'll try again when the road's open.
The greenhouse has met with the Regina bypass and was told that a new culvert won't arrive until late August. The greenhouse is losing customers, forcing discounted prices.
So it is hurting our business, which we had to discount trees and shrubs by 25%, which is early this time of year. Usually we don't have sales until the fall. So it has impacted us significantly.
Detour signs have been erected along the Trans-Canada Highway, but it's still a little confusing.
It wasn't just let's stop in here. I had planned it, so I knew which way to go. Farther from Regina, for sure.
Sherwood Greenhouse has appealed for quicker repairs. The Regina bypass has consulted engineers, and materials are arriving for a temporary solution. The Regina bypass expects that a quick fix can be completed within days. Crews will then return in September to make permanent repairs. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Well, people can expect delays when driving through a major road south of Regina's airport this month, starting now. The road between Louvain Drive to Parliament Avenue to Highway 1 will be restricted to two-way traffic for repaving. The first phase of construction is expected to go until July the 10th, and according to the City of Regina, where the southbound lanes will be closed as the northbound lanes are being worked on. Plans for construction on the northbound lanes are set to begin from July 11th to 16th. Police are investigating after Regina School was vandalized. It happened at Judge Bryant School in the East End. Regina Public Schools say they're aware of the vandalism, and facilities crews will be working to clean up the spray paint. Police have also been notified. School is now out for the summer. In Saskatoon, the city is warning people to stay away from the South Saskatchewan River after fast-moving water ripped out the safety buoys between University Bridge and the Weir. The latest warning comes after 2 boats were rescued by fire crews over the weekend, and a jet skier died last month. The city says crews will work to safely reinstall the buoys as soon as conditions allow. They were not in place when a jet skier went over the Weir June 20th, but were back in place across the river briefly last week. Now only half of the boom is in place on the west side of the river. That's leaving the east side without anything. The city is telling residents all recreational activities on the river are strongly discouraged. That includes boating, paddling, swimming, floating, and fishing from shore. Officials are also asking people to just stay back from the river's edge, warning that high water, unstable banks, and submerged hazards can quickly turn dangerous. Small green signs are up in various places along the river, warning of the increased danger. Environment officials have now confirmed that zebra mussels have been found in Lake of the Prairies, which runs along the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border. Last week, the ministry enacted a containment order on the lake after multiple invasive mussels were found in the early stage of their life cycle, but did not specify which species. Up to this point, zebra mussels have been kept out of Saskatchewan. Any boats or watercraft that have come out of Lake of the Prairies in both provinces need to be decontaminated before going into any other body of water in the province. Still ahead, a back to the office policy as some federal public service employees voicing their displeasure. Plus, the federal government is buying their new submarine fleet from a German company. Well, starting today, all core federal public service employees are required to be at work in person for at least 4 days a week. And while that's the norm for many workers here in Saskatchewan, as Rachel Aiello tells us, for some federal workers, the rollout has been challenging.
The public servants I've been speaking to today say the rollout has been rocky, from several departments not having enough space for everyone to work comfortably, to the change complicating their commute, and childcare. Some federal public servants started their work week protesting the start of a new policy, mandating them to be in the office 4 days a week. It's one more day than was already required, and workers say it won't make them any more productive.
It's not actually about doing a better job. It's about being seen to be there to check off a box on someone's list.
I'm coming into the office to do basically what I would do at home, and it's just a little bit more difficult because, you know, the person next to me is on a phone call, the person in front of me is on a phone call.
Now, some departments have delayed implementation due to a lack of space, as the government is downsizing and converting some buildings into housing. The Treasury Board says the shift to more in-person time is to support the Prime Minister's ambitious agenda. The unions say while their efforts so far haven't stopped the policy from coming into effect, doesn't mean their fight is over. They vowed to continue fighting the government through legal, bargaining, public, and political avenues. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Air Canada once again scaling back flights to the U.S. amid high jet fuel costs and lower demand for trips south of the border. The airline is halting or delaying 8 transborder routes starting in the fall. 3 routes from Toronto and Montreal to the American Midwest will be canceled for the second winter in a row, and 3 seasonal routes to Florida from Ottawa, Montreal, and Quebec City will start in December instead of October. 2 previously suspended routes from Montreal and Toronto to JFK Airport in New York won't be coming back this winter. Stats Canada says the number of Canadians returning by air from the U.S. fell 28% between May 2024 and this past May. After a months-long competition, Canada has selected a German company to build Canada's new submarine fleet, winning a bid worth billions of dollars and pledging to create thousands of jobs in the country. The announcement comes just ahead of this week's NATO summit. Graham Richardson is traveling with the Prime Minister and has the latest.
In the end, Prime Minister Mark Carney made it clear the German bid's connection to NATO may have been the key difference.
Canada has selected TKMS as the preferred supplier for Canada's patrol submarine project.
This is a massive game changer for the Navy and Canada. Right now, one of Canada's aging 4 subs is operational. The TKMS subs are still years away. Officials say 4 of them will be delivered to Canada by 2034. Carney says the sub purchase has already been factored in to Canada's fiscal outlook.
By design, this process will have far and away the greatest economic impact of any defense investment right across Canada. This was a difficult, close decision between 2 highly qualified suppliers.
Carney also said the connection to NATO and the operability in the Arctic tilted Canada to TKMS and away from the South Koreans.
The submarine is proven and capable. It's widely used by our allies.
And these subs are said to be very stealthy, the ability to wait and patiently be able to have the surveillance of the area so that if the Russians try to make the breakthrough, they will be surprised by the Canadian presence.
Canada shortlisted this project less than a year ago. That's an incredibly fast pace for any country, unheard of in Canada until today. And that is the message Mark Carney will take to Turkey and NATO in the next couple of days. Canada has changed because the world has changed. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Halifax.
In Ukraine, 26 people were killed in Russian attacks early today, dozens more injured. The Ukrainian Air Force says the enemy fired 351 drones, 68 missiles overnight, targeting mainly Kyiv. All 29 ballistic missiles struck their targets. Ukraine president insists his country has performed well against drones and cruise missiles, but not against ballistic missiles. As Vladimir Zelensky will likely reiterate a need for more U.S.-made Patriot interceptor missiles during this week's NATO summit. Last Thursday, a Russian strike killed 31 people in Kyiv, the deadliest attack in the capital this year. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Hamas says today it has dissolved its de facto government in Gaza and signaled it is ready to hand it over to a Palestinian technical committee backed by the United Nations. People in the occupied territory are struggling for food, water, and shelter amid a devastating war between Israel and the militant group. Hamas says it will still oversee security and policing in parts of the territory. Israel dismissed the announcement, saying as long as Hamas keeps its weapons, any civilian government will operate as the group dictates. The promise by Hamas to relinquish control of government ministries is a key part of the U.S.-led plan for a post-war Gaza. Nearly 10 million people are without power in Cuba after the national electric grid collapsed about midday. The government said it had activated protocols to restore electricity, and an investigation into the cause of the outage has begun. Nearly two-thirds of the island was already without power before today. Cuba has suffered similar incidents for months, linked in part to a decrepit grid and a U.S. oil blockade. The country produces about 40% of the fuel it needs. His 17 years as an astronaut capped off by that historic trip to the moon. Now Jeremy Hansen is launching the next step in his journey of discovery. The 50-year-old London, Ontario product announced today he is leaving the Canadian Space Agency. The CSA says Hansen will pursue new professional opportunities as of September. He will transition into a reservist role with the Royal Canadian Air Force. Hansen says that's a deliberate move designed to leave the door open for ongoing ways to support Canada's space development. The Colonel was a member of the Artemis II mission that flew around the moon in April, the first humans to do so in more than half a century. The crew also went further from Earth than anyone previous. And Hansen did release a statement today that reads in part, "My deepest gratitude to the Canadian Armed Forces, the Canadian Space Agency, and the people of Canada for the opportunity to serve the past 32 years. I stand in awe of those who serve our nation and build our future." Coming up, sun lovers rejoice after weeks of wet weather. Summer is set to turn up the heat.
Fair to say the entire country has World Cup fever. Tuesday on Your Morning, we're in conversation with Saskatchewan soccer to find out what impact the tournament is having here at home.
Welcome back. And a quick traffic note. I know Lee mentioned earlier about the repaving that's being done on Louvain. Well, we've gotten word that traffic is already backed up on the Louvain, and with that work set to begin, I believe, phase 1 on July 10th. Give yourself plenty of time if you're planning on heading out that way in and around the Regina area. So something to keep in mind, because I'm sure many people want to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather. Today, we warmed up to 23 degrees in Regina, currently sitting at 22 with the winds just over 15 kilometers an hour. And that's just the start, because we're going to continually see those temperatures gradually warm up throughout the rest of the week. Now, I don't really have much to show you on our radar satellite. It was clear conditions, sunny conditions for most of the day for most of the province. We still do have some air quality statements in the northeast there around the south end area. But other than that, we've seen nothing but clear conditions, and that'll continue. Now, until we get into Wednesday night, Thursday, where we could see a little bit of precipitation, rain. We could see some rain and a low risk of thunderstorms coming through the area. But for the most part, expecting a lot of sunshine to continue and clear conditions. We will probably see a little bit of scattered precipitation along the southern border there first thing tomorrow, and a little bit more of that cloud cover following along with it, but mostly we're seeing a mix of sun and cloud, mainly sunny conditions right across the board, and that'll continue, like I said, throughout most of the week. By the time we get into Wednesday, that's where we could start to see a little bit of that rain, and you'll see it showing up right there Wednesday night, not really affecting too much for the south, but more so in central Saskatchewan. A little bit of storm activity. The most rain we could probably see in the areas are close to about 8 millimeters, 9 millimeters of rain as that system continues to make its way through. But other than that, like I said, southern Saskatchewan expecting to see mostly sunny conditions. So just for reference, again, between now, we're probably not seeing much rain over the next couple of days until we get into Thursday. That's, of course, when we start to see a little bit more of that precipitation. You can see southern Saskatchewan seeing anywhere between 3 to 5 millimeters of rain, trace amounts for the Estevan, Assiniboine, Maple Creek area, and then a little bit more up in that Lloydminster, Meadow Lake, Prince Albert area. Other than that, temperatures continuing to reach closer and closer to the 30-degree mark. Not tomorrow, but until we get into about Wednesday, Thursday, that's where we start to feel like those temperatures are in the low to mid 30s. But tomorrow we're in the mid to high 20s for many parts of the province. Saskatoon, 24, mainly sunny. 27 and sunny for North Battleford, 24 and a mix of sun and cloud for Yorkton over in the southwest. We'll see a little bit of that more cloud cover and some slight chance of some precipitation for Maple Creek, 23 there, 23 and cloudy for Swift Current, and a mix of sun and cloud, and 23 for Moose Jaw, the southeast. Similar story, a little cooler just with that system that we were seeing coming through parts along the border there. 21 for Weyburn and Estevan, 19 and mostly cloudy for Assiniboine. For Regina, 11 tonight, tomorrow warming to 24 degrees with the winds up to 25 kilometers an hour. And here's a quick look at what we've got coming up for the next 7 days. And for all of my friends who love the hot temperatures and sunshine, this is your week. So again, 24 tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, sunny, and 25 on Wednesday. Could see some light precipitation Wednesday night. Thursday is where we could see a low risk of thunderstorm and the chance of that rain coming through later in the day. Could see up to 5 millimeters of rain coming through Thursday. Friday, 27 and sunny. Saturday, 30 degrees, sunny and 29 on Sunday, and 29 mainly sunny on Monday. So it will be around the Thursday mark where these 27-degree temperatures start to feel more like 32, 33 degrees. But again, Thursday is also the day we could see a little bit more of that rain and a risk of thunderstorm. Other than that, apart from Thursday, Lee, it's summertime in Saskatchewan.
Lots of sun, even Sunday for that Rider game against Hamilton. It's going to be sunny
warm.
side's going to be warm.
Very warm. Wear your sunscreen and a hat.
All right, then. Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
She told you, wear a hat. Yes, the 7-day forecast sure looks a lot better for all you sun lovers out there. In fact, this could just be a taste of what's to come this summer. Stacey Hine has more.
After weeks of rain and gloomy weather, many Saskatchewan residents and visitors are taking advantage of the sunshine.
We like to play in the water to cool down and come and look at the river.
We love running around outside and playing in the splash parks and the paddling pools.
Among those enjoying the sun are visitors from Norway.
Yeah, we were a bit taken aback by tornado warnings because we're not quite used to that, but no, this is great.
One Saskatoon resident says it finally feels like summer is here.
Just as when you thought the weather is getting better, then it is rain, then it was kind of a roller coaster. But I think finally we are there.
For many, it's a welcome change after recent rainfall led to flooding in parts of the province. In June, Saskatoon recorded nearly 104 millimeters of rain, well above the monthly average of about 75 millimeters. Regina received about 147 millimeters of rain last month, above the 85 millimeter average. Environment Canada says an upper ridge is expected to develop, bringing warmer, drier weather.
We are expecting that to sort of develop probably into early next week. Still early, so we're going to have to keep our eye on it, but that often will mean warmer, drier conditions.
The forecast is also welcome news for the Sask Jazz Fest, with organizers saying the warmer weather is expected to boost walk-up ticket sales.
There's really two groups of people who are like, I love the Jazz Fest, or I love the lineup, and I'm going no matter what, and so they buy their tickets well in advance. And then we have those who are like, I am not into the rain, and I'm going to wait until that date.
The festival runs through Saturday, with the stretch of warm, sunny weather expected to continue into next week. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, the European champions look to advance in the World Cup while ending Cristiano Ronaldo's quest for a trophy he's never won.
Morning Minute, brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management.
In the age of AI, people are changing how they research and how they ask questions, especially when it comes to their finances. Velvet Sudo is a wealth specialist with Affinity Wealth Management, and she's here to talk to us about investing in this new age. Velvet, with all the information available right now, do you find that clients are coming better informed, or is it a little bit overwhelming with all that information?
Yeah, I would say it's a little of both. They are definitely coming in better informed, but overwhelmed with all of the information that is out there. So what we as advisors do, we come in and we help sort through that noise and figure out what is appropriate for their individual needs, and then make sure that the decisions they make are in alignment with their goals.
Absolutely. And Affinity's wealth team of professionals have access to the tools needed to guide you through your investment journey. Check them out online at affinitywealth.ca and watch Your Morning Saskatchewan weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV or watch live on Crave.
Well, 4 teams have advanced to the quarterfinals at the World Cup: England, Norway, France, Morocco. Today, Spain took to the pitch against Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo, his last chance at a World Cup.
To the 6 added minutes before extra time. Ferran Torres, we might not need extra time.
Mikel Merino, man, they make it look so easy. Mikel Merino ends a scoreless battle in injury time. Some pretty passing finished off, and that's all Spain would need. They eliminate Portugal 1-0, advancing in the quarterfinals. Ronaldo emotional after, as he thanks the Portuguese supporters. It's going to be the final time, likely, he'll do that at a World Cup. Now, right now, the United States is playing Belgium in Seattle. American star forward Florian Balogun is in the lineup despite getting a red card in his last game, which typically means a 1-game suspension. But FIFA is delaying the suspension a year after a direct call from U.S. President Donald Trump. As Joy Malbin tells us, the decision is not going over well outside of America.
So, yeah, I did. I spoke to Johnny.
President Donald Trump confirming he made that controversial call, asking his friend FIFA's President Gianni Infantino to review the red card suspension of America's hottest player, Florian Balogun. Trump called the referee's decision horrible and, quote, a little bit suspect, even calling on reporters to check the referee's past.
I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, you know, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was 2 great athletes that crashed into each other.
FIFA's highly unusual reversal overturns the red card suspension, and the Belgians are furious. Their coach thought it was an April Fool's joke.
It's a bad decision. Not good for the sport.
And Europe's governing soccer body said FIFA had crossed a red line.
It is remarkable that the president has entered the conversation. And I think that's the thing. And you'd be very concerned about the slippery slope. King Charles, does he want to weigh in on last night's red card for an English player?
So will the appearance of political influence sully the beautiful game? Here's what World Cup fans had to say.
It's just the reversal is a little weird and the timing's a little strange.
Definitely think that Trump played a trump card. I'd be really annoyed if I was a Belgian fan. It's good for the USA, though.
And today, FIFA dismissed an appeal by the Belgians, clearing the way for America's star striker to play against Belgium in that big match tonight. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
By the way, it is 2-1 in that game for Belgium, first half. Canadian soccer watch party was standing room only on the weekend as fans packed the lobby in Regina to watch Canada versus Morocco in a round of 16. It was actually a pretty entertaining game for people that went. Canadians played well in the first half, gave the Moroccans all they could, but despite a couple of chances, it was scoreless at the half, and Morocco would kind of take over from there. They netted 3 goals to end Canada's World Cup run in the round of 16. But as you can see, there was a lot of people at the event showing their support, and it didn't sour their spirits.
We have lots to be proud about. You know, we had a whole bunch of firsts. First point, first goal, first multi-goal game, first time in the knockout stage, first win in the knockout stage. It was a great tournament for us, so I can't be too sad.
Did just as well as Mexico, so Notem Boom says he is already looking forward to seeing the next iteration of this team in 4 years' time at the next World Cup in 2030. And Toronto swimmer Summer McIntosh has set another record in the pool. 19 years old, just keeps breaking records. She finished the 200-meter butterfly in 2 minutes, 1.65 seconds at the Canadian trials last night. That's 0.2 of a second faster than the previous record, which was set in 2009. Her mother, Jill, was also an Olympic swimmer and previously set the record for the 200-meter butterfly in the same pool decades earlier. Still ahead, Regina police need your help to catch a deceptive duo.
Here's what's happening in our community. The 2026 MSI computer camps will be happening from July 6th to 10th, starting at 8 a.m. at the University of Regina Classroom Building. For details, head to compcamps.com. The community market will be held on July 10th, starting at 8:45 in the morning at 701 Park Avenue in Esterhazy. For details, email reneeanderson76@gmail.com. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen. All right, let's take a look at what your rural forecast is looking like tomorrow. More heat and a lot of sunshine continuing throughout Saskatchewan. We're going to see those temperatures getting up to about 26 degrees for Hudson Bay, Outlook, Kindersley, and Lloydminster, 25 for Meadow Lake, Spiritwood, and Melfort, and 24 and mainly sunny for Watrous with a mix of sun and cloud, 24 for Wynyard. Closer to the southern border, we will see a little bit of that rain just along that southern border as we were seeing on the map earlier. So East End, Cypress, Rockglen, rain in 18. It won't be lasting throughout the entire day, starting out in the morning, and then we'll see a little bit more of that sunshine arriving. Coronach 19 and a little bit of sunshine, 21 and cloudy for Carlisle, and then Broadview, Maple Creek 23 degrees, 24 for Lumsden and Pilot Butte, and 26 for Rosetown and Leader. Taking a closer look at Manor, located about 215 kilometers southeast of Regina. Tomorrow warming up to 20 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Winds up to 20 kilometers an hour. Will feel closer to about 22 degrees for the daytime high.
The incident happened on May the 28th, 2026 at around 5:20 in the morning on the 2100 block of Pasqua Street. A man and woman entered a store. The woman distracted an employee while the man proceeded to steal several $1,000s worth of merchandise. Both the man and woman appear to have been at that location before. They knew where the surveillance cameras were and also where the product was they were trying to steal. Suspect number 1 is described as a woman with blonde hair in a ponytail wearing glasses, a Six Silk brand blue, white, and black hooded sweatshirt, and tight-fitting black shorts. Suspect number 2 is described as a man wearing a black ball cap under a gray hood obscuring the view of his face. He's wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with a Browning logo on the left chest, black pants, and gray runners. If you know who one of these 2 suspects are, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Well, the first annual poker run took place on Saturday in Regina as dozens of motorcyclists set out to raise funds for the Cosmopolitan Learning Center. The center is designed like a school and sets out to enhance the quality of life for adults with physical or intellectual disabilities. The poker run was the brainchild of a parent whose son attends the center, and the Cosmopolitan says that the funds raised go towards things like vehicles, equipment, and lifts.
We had a lot of great cash and physical donations for our raffle baskets and to help this event come together. And then Daryl, the parent who reached out to us, he's been really big on getting us all the other donations and bikers out and kind of help spread the word just because it is our first time. According to the center, about 230 individuals currently attend the center.
And the Saskatchewan Jazz Festival is officially underway in Saskatoon. Volunteers completed the setup on Sunday morning and events kicked off that night. This year looks a little bit different title sponsor. The festival has adopted a new look, new slogan, Prairie Loud, no wrong notes. Jazz Fest's executive director shared that about 75% of the early programming is free, and they encourage community members to swing by throughout the week.
There's no wrong way to be as an artist, as a patron. So you can really come on out, learn something new, find a new favorite band, or just eat mini donuts. Whatever floats your boat. It is really about energy, discovery, and enjoying great music.
Anyone seeking tickets can find them on the Sask Jazz website. All right, let's move to canola. Street price went up big earlier this week. It's currently up another $3.30 to $705.25 per ton. Futures price up more than $18 to $757.20 per ton. Amber Durum wheat $285.20 per ton, while Reg Spring wheat is up $1.40 to $285.22 per ton. Feed barley $257.21 per ton. Flax is $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. The markets, different directions. The TSX went down 62 points, while the Dow Jones went up by 155 points. The Canadian dollar went down 0.02 cents to 70.40 cents U.S. On a commodity front, gold down $11.71. West Texas Intermediate crude down 14 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude went up by 15 cents, but it's down to about $53 a barrel right now. So gas in Regina staying the same, just under that $1.60 mark. It's $1.59.9 cents per liter. Coming up tonight, in the words of Fergie, what you gonna do when there's only one big bang?
Oh, I was like, where is this going?
I didn't know either. Match game at 7, 8 o'clock, American Ninja Warrior, and then Big Bang E-Talk, and you've got your news. 2 hours of American Ninja Warrior. Always watch that to make me feel like I need to be better. Just a lot of physical stuff.
Are we good today?
I don't know. It's a Monday. Plenty of traditional celebrations for sports fans. Remember the chicken dance guy at Rider Games back in like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Morgan used to do it on air, but I won't make you do that.
No, I will not.
An epic post-game celebration has gone viral from the World Cup after Norway beat Brazil on the weekend.
I do love this. That's Erling Haaland leading his team and fans in the stands in the Viking Row. Haaland scored twice as Norway knocked out 5-time champion Brazil 2-1. The victory is stirring up pride in Norway. It's a country of just over 5 million people. This marks the first time the Scandinavian country has made it to the World Cup quarterfinals. It is a cool sight to see.
It is. It's very good. I mean, my English are facing them, so I can't give them too much praise, but it's probably the best celebration right now in the World Cup that the teams do. I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of, but it just seems the Scandinavian fans have some great celebration right now.
I love it. Love to see it.
We'll see how far they go. All right.
I'm not going to say who I'm cheering for either because I don't want to offend you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, Country Thunder gets underway later this week in Craven, while in Calgary, the Stampede has taken over. Yeah. There will be a lot of people proudly showing off their animals there. This little guy might want to join them.
These are my ladies. This is Jill. This is my lady Amy. Little Susie. Brianna. You know why we call her.
Okay, so this is 3-year-old Caleb showing off all his feathered friends. They've all got names, and none of them seem to mind being picked up and shown off. What else can you say? He loves his ladies, and that's why the chicks flock to him.
Okay, but literally they're not even like trying to
get away.
Aww. Okay, that is cute. That's cute.
Kids and chickens.
I tell ya.